CTV family. Catch us live on your TV screens.
If you've just tuned in, you are joining us here on the one and only Ekse, and of course it is CTV. My name is Lauren Joffe, and I'm not traveling alone today. But first, I want to bring up another phenomenal woman. Now, this woman's name is Helen Joseph. She is one of the many, many women that was involved in the Women's March, and she's a name that stands out because she was one of the leaders. So that's the 20,000 women approximately that marched to Pretoria to say that enough is enough. So she was born in Britain, raised in South Africa, and also spent about 3 years in India teaching girls English. And she really dedicated her life to really managing and focusing on human rights, dignity, and uniting South Africans. And we know that if you put some pressure on South Africans, we'll unite eventually. So I can imagine the work that she put in. She was also one of the first people that was under house arrest in South Africa. So the first person under house arrest in South Africa, which sounds really interesting. I'd love to do more research into that. But right now, I've got some more phenomenal people in the studio. Welcome, guys. How are you feeling?
Feeling great.
Feeling excited?
Yeah.
So this is, of course, Nate, Akifa, and Songo. And before we hop into the interview of why you guys are here today, I want to ask you, what does Women's Day mean to you?
Well, Women's Day to me means celebrating women as a whole, not just women who were born women, but
Yes.
women, everyone who wants to categorize themselves as a woman.
100%.
So, yeah.
I'm so glad you touched on that. You know, it really is important that whether you're a transgender woman or a woman that's, you know, fits into her sex and gender automatically, I think it's so important to touch on that.
To me, Women's Day means bringing equivalence of men and women all around the world, not just categorizing men as being this and women as being that. Women should be treated as one. The same job a man can do, a woman can do too. Thank you.
I think it's so important, you know, it's saying that we're not trying to be above men. We just want to be on the same level. We want to be treated with the same respect. Nate, what does Women's Day mean to you?
For me, it means that I look at my mom, look at my grandmother, look at my sister, look at my nieces, you know, look at two lovely ladies next to me. And me being in the middle even shows that they're protective as well in terms of who they love. And for Women's Day means they're able to take the love and able to show that they're able to be empowered with the love and not able to hide it. So for them even having a voice. So the Women's Day means actually that whatever's inside of them can have a voice to show it, can have the platform to show my love, can able to have the tools to actually do to actually do all the work. So Women's Day means that to me. Yeah.
I think it is so phenomenal. And I must admit, it makes me a bit emotional because I can imagine, you know, it was during apartheid. I can imagine the friction and women just saying, you know what, we need to put race aside for a second and embrace our differences and acknowledge we're women and we need a march. And now, you know, we all have this ability to speak and our voices are so loud, and yet gender-based violence is at an all-time high. It's almost like the louder we speak, the more there's people out there that want to bring us down. But we're going to prove them wrong. So I want to move on. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. I want to move on to why you guys are here today. Tell me, what is Shadow Careers all about?
Shadow Careers is an organization, it's more of a movement actually, where we take unemployed youth in surrounding areas, disadvantaged backgrounds. We take them through a 3-month program that actually deals with upskilling them. So we're looking at recently matriculated in some, for example, like your Kailicha, Mitchell's Plain, Younger, Philippi, where they never had opportunity to go to varsity or able to have that skills. Let's say you want a 6-month experience, a 12-month experience, where they get it from if they never had opportunity. So we're the gap that actually bridges for them from getting the skills and resources to actually getting permanent employment. So we decided, you know what, instead of being in, for example, the suburbs or Cape Town CBD, where no one really lives around besides the ones who are fortunate enough to, is let's go back to the community. For them not to travel, take 2 hours to go to actually to work, to probably work for 8 hours. It takes spending 12 hours away from home. So let's go to them and get them skills and actually get them permanent employment so they can able to contribute to the economy. And that's what Shadow Careers is about.
I love that you're actually mentioning how you go into the communities that are most affected by unemployment. And you touched on transport, you know, and recently with all of the taxi violence and chaos that was going on, so many South Africans do. You have to wake up 2 or 3 hours before work, travel an hour or so to get to work, and that cuts into, you know, your energy and your time. And I think it's so important that you touched on you guys going into the community and, you know, taking away those obstacles. So I know, to give the viewers at home some context as well, so I know that you're currently doing the program.
Same.
You're a staff member and you're a graduate. So I'm wondering, who do I ask first? The current involvement or the past involvement? I think I'm going to ask you, how is it currently? And then I'm going to move on to see, you know, how was it graduating?
So currently for me, it's been a great experience. Like working together in this time of COVID as a team, it has been hard, but our facilitators make it seem so easy, and the help that they provide us makes us feel comfortable enough to work through this pandemic, and also like they gave us this opportunity, so we have to grab it with both our hands and show them that, hey, we appreciate this. And as my team is currently in this now, we actually have been a bit on the side because of the transport and whatever, but still we make an effort to be there just to show that Shadow Careers has made an impact in our life and we do appreciate it. And also with the learning, it's like there's so many things that we never knew about that now today we know about it. And I think that they prepare us very well for the outside world as well.
So what is a day? You said it's a 3-month program.
Yes.
What is a day-to-day like for you?
In the beginning, it was hectic because it's like this overflow of so many new things. But now our day-to-day is like courses that we need in our working life. So now, today, for example, there's certain things that we did that we never knew about. And in this course, it's brought us like so much enjoyment and excitement. Working in a team, holding our passion together, and also not knowing what the next person is going through, but being there to uplift them and make sure that they do their best on a day-to-day basis.
I think that sounds awesome. So for you as a graduate, what is it? You know, you've been through the 3-month program. What was that like for you? Now you're a graduate. What have you been doing since?
I think Nate didn't touch on it. So what happens after the 3 months? Shadow Careers finds a permanent job for you.
Okay.
So when exactly like you graduate today, tomorrow you are at your work, signing your contract and just being
So
permanent.
if you put in the effort
Exactly.
and you succeed
And you graduate, it is a sure thing that you get a permanent job. So for me, the 3-month program was a lot. It was a lot because you have to deal with different personalities, and you are your own person as well. So it's just a lot. And being at this age, I'm still finding myself, and there are other people finding themselves as well. So it's just a complicated journey, but it was worth it because they don't just teach you how to be at work, they also teach you how to treat other people, and it's part of their values. So there's a value called human, where you have to treat people as if they're human, because you also want to be treated as a human being.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut you off, but thank you for sharing some phenomenal views and advice here today. I hope that you guys are learning something at home, and if you're interested and you're excited, like what about permanent employment, make sure that you hop onto their social media, and of course just Google Shadow Careers, slide into their DMs. But right now it's time for an ad break.
CTV family.